Sponsored by rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 85% on prescription drugs. rxcardclub.com, Managing Nasal Polyps Symptoms with CBD. Nasal polyps are small benign, non-cancerous, growths on the lining of the nose or sinuses. Many traditional treatments for nasal polyps exist. Because of its anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, CBD is being explored as a complementary therapy. /r/n/r/n experts have recognized the potential of CBD for nasal polyps relief, but more research is needed. /r/n/r/n This article will discuss the basics of nasal polyps, how CBD might help, and any known side effects. /r/n/r/nCasarsaguru, Getty Imagesrnrn Your body has an endocannabinoid system, ECS, which regulates and controls bodily functions such as /r/n/r/n. The ECS is constantly working to keep your body in a state of equilibrium. It's able to do this via two types of cannabinoid receptors expressed in select locations in the brain and body, /r/n/r/n. Cannabinoids from the cannabis plant can also affect these receptors. /r/n/r/n. Cannabinoids are a group of compounds that come from the cannabis plant, also known as marijuana. /r/n/r/n. The two main types of cannabinoids are deltatetrahydrocannabinol, THC, and cannabidiol, CBD. /r/n/r/nTHC has a psychoactive effect and is derived from the marijuana plant. CBD doesn't have a psychoactive effect and can be derived from the marijuana plant or the hemp plant. /r/n/r/n CBD is of interest to the research and medical communities because of its potential for health benefits and treatments without the high of THC. /r/n/r/n In theory, CBD may help reduce inflammation and act as an antibacterial. This could give it potential as a treatment for nasal polyps. However, more research is needed, especially for use with nasal polyps. /r/n/r/n Nasal polyps are soft, sac-like, non-cancerous growths that can grow anywhere on the lining of the nose or the sinuses. /r/n/r/n They can cause symptoms such as /r/n/r/n Currently, there isn't enough evidence to confirm that CBD can be used as an effective treatment for nasal polyps. Some studies have shown that CBD oil may help with inflammation. It targets the CB2 receptors that regulate inflammation. However, further research must be done on using CBD specifically for nasal polyps to determine if it is an effective treatment. /r/n/r/n Aspirin exacerbated respiratory disease, AERD, also called Samters Triad, is a chronic inflammatory disorder that affects the sinuses and lungs. People with AERD have a sensitivity to aspirin and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs. Approximately 40% of people who have both nasal polyps and asthma will develop AERD. A small pilot study that removed nasal polyps from people with AERD indicated that the endocannabinoid system may be involved in AERD. This suggests that cannabinoids might be a useful treatment. While this study was very limited and much more research is required, the results are encouraging. /r/n/r/n The three main types of CBD are /r/n/r/n CBD can be taken, /r/n/r/n A CBD nasal spray may be beneficial for nasal polyps as it may improve bioavailability, the extent of the drug that enters the bloodstream. /r/n/r/n There are currently no regulated CBD nasal sprays available, but as with other CBD products, unregulated ones exist. /r/n/r/n The entourage effect is the idea that full-spectrum cannabinoids may be more therapeutic because the cannabis plant contains active ingredients as well as synergists that boost effectiveness above that of the isolated compound. It has been likened to an orchestra supporting and enhancing the melody of a soloist. This effect is largely anecdotal, but there are some studies that show evidence to support it. R/N/R/N there isn't a suggested dosage for CBD in the treatment of nasal polyps, as it hasn't been deemed an appropriate treatment yet. R/N/R/N with the exception of the use of CBD for epilepsy, there aren't standardized doses for other conditions in the United States. A study in 2020 explored potential dosages for varying conditions, but the study had a number of limitations. Further research is needed. R/N/R/N these days, depending on where you live, it's typically easy to find CBD for sale online or in local stores. Some tips for buying CBD include R/N/R/N in 2018, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approved Epidiolex for the treatment of seizures associated with two rare and severe forms of epilepsy, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome and Dravet syndrome. R/N/R/N Epidiolex is an oral solution with CBD as its active ingredient. It's the first FDA-approved drug that contains a purified drug substance derived from marijuana. R/N/R/N while CBD is generally considered safe, there are some possible side effects and safety concerns. R/N/R/N possible side effects of CBD include R/N/R/N safety concerns include R/N/R/N CBD is marketed as a supplement in the United States, and the FDA doesn't regulate the safety and purity of dietary supplements. R/N/R/N the active ingredients can vary from the dose listed on the label, from bottle to bottle, or even from dose to dose. It may also contain other, unknown, elements. R/N/R/N 2017 study showed that among CBD products purchased online, the range of CBD concentrations varied widely, consistent with the lack of an accepted dose. Of the products tested, about 26% contained less CBD than labeled, which could make them less effective or ineffective. Some contained almost no CBD at all. R/N/R/N nasal polyps are small benign, non-cancerous, growths on the lining of the nose or sinuses. Many traditional treatments for nasal polyps exist. Because of its anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, CBD is being explored as a complementary therapy. However, research specifically for use for nasal polyps is lacking. R/N/R/N CBD comes in various forms: topical, oral, edible, and inhaled. However, smoking CBD isn't recommended. CBD can be bought online or at local stores. R/N/R/N while CBD is generally considered safe, there are some possible side effects and safety concerns. Talk with your healthcare provider to get a better sense of whether CBD is a safe treatment option for you. R/N/R/N while research is very limited on the use of CBD in the treatment of nasal polyps, preliminary studies show promise, particularly when it comes to inflammation and antibiotic use. R/N/R/N if you have nasal polyps and aren't already on a standardized treatment plan, consult with your healthcare provider to see what treatments would benefit you. If you would like to try CBD as a complementary treatment for nasal polyps, also check with your healthcare provider to make sure it's safe for you. R/N/R/N there is no research that shows nasal polyps can be removed with CBD. If you have or suspect you have nasal polyps, see your healthcare provider for a proper exam and to determine treatment. R/N/R/N nasal polyps have similar symptoms to a head cold, but the symptoms either don't go away or they go away and return quickly. If you feel like you have a head cold that has gone on too long, see your healthcare provider for an exam. R/N/R/N there are currently no regulated CBD nasal sprays available. As with other CBD products, though, unregulated ones exist. Research is lacking as to whether they are useful for nasal polyps. R/N/R/N rxcardclub.com. Get a free prescription drug card and save up to 80% on prescription drugs.